Okay, it says we're live. I hope we are. Hello, everybody. Anyone joining us out there on this December evening? It is a busy, busy time of year. So anybody who joins us, we're really appreciative of your time. My name is Chris Freytag, founder of Get Healthy U and Get Healthy U TV, and we are ready to start our live Q&A for the night. So this is our November-December one, our holiday Q&A, because it's a busy time of year, and I know that people have a lot going on, but maybe this is even a really good time of year because people have questions about holiday eating and holiday exercise and want to stay motivated through the new year. So we are ready to go. I have a lovely moderator with me today. Hello, Miss Kate Lang.
Hello. Thanks so much for having me tonight. I'm super excited to be here.
Well, thanks for helping me tonight. I should say Mrs. Kate Lang. Kate has been a part of the GHU team for, I don't know, Kate, has it been 10 years?
11. Yeah, 11 years. 11. Yeah.
Kate's been working with me for 11 years. I absolutely love it. Well, I'm so glad you're here. We might as well just get started because we always know the hour flies right by. So
yes, and we've got some great questions coming in. Talking about the holiday season, Jackie wrote in with a great question. She's long had a struggle with sugar addiction, and during the holiday season, when she gets stressed out or uncomfortable, those sweets are what she wants to turn to. So she's come a long way with the sugar addiction, but what kind of advice can you give her to kind of eat sugar in moderation and not get completely out of control?
Well, I mean, sugar, first of all, is delicious. Second of all, at the holidays, it's in abundance, so it's harder to avoid. It's very tempting. And the other thing about the holidays, and it's not true for everybody, but alcohol also encourages you to eat more sweets because the sugar alcohol, the alcohol sugars in the alcohol itself kind of create a little more craving. Plus, if you're that person who has sweets and candies and cookies and everything around at the holidays, then you have more than you normally do, then it's kind of sitting there in your face calling your name. So the first thing is realizing that sugar is addictive. It actually is. It's very much like caffeine or some of those other chemicals that once you start eating more of them, you crave more of them. Sugar also really screws with your insulin. So your blood sugar levels are constantly going up and down, and your insulin gets confused, and your insulin constantly says, I can't clear all the sugar out of the bloodstream, so it stores it as fat. But in the meantime, you start craving more. So the key is to realize that it is addictive, that it is in abundance in the holidays, and then to figure a way to control it. So a couple of ideas I have for the holidays. Now, I mean, I don't, sometimes people go, oh, well, I just want to live a normal life. But sometimes it's really good to journal at the holidays. Like, for instance, plan out if you say, okay, I'm going to allow myself one sweet a day. Like, literally write it down. What's your sweet for the day? And check it off when you've had it so that you don't feel like so out of control that you just kind of slip and make bad choices throughout the day or that you lose, I guess, lose your memory of even what you've eaten. Good Lord, I know I do. I just lost my memory of what I was saying. So journaling it, coming up with substitutes. Like, I know that I've said this so many times, but Greek yogurt kind of became my substitute for ice cream because I love creamy, cold, sweet stuff. So that kind of became my substitute. If you love like a certain Christmas cookie, maybe you allow yourself one a day and you check it off your list. Maybe you have one every so often. Maybe you find a substitute for something that creates the same feelings for you. The other thing I would say is really, really be careful of liquid sugar during the holidays. Some people just fall right off the wagon with their gingerbread lattes and their eggnog lattes and their mocha loca whatevers and their sugary cocktails. And then all of a sudden they don't realize that they've not only eaten sugar, but they drank a ton of sugar. So you really have to be I guess the biggest thing is you got to be conscious and aware. And also don't over punish yourself. I mean, don't get so mad at yourself. It's the holidays. Like, a little bit goes a long way. This is what I find out. When people say, I'm not going to eat any sugar this holiday season, they go far off the wagon. Like, I think moderation is a really good thing at the holidays. Like, say, okay, I'm going to have a little bit here and there and I'm going to allow it, but I'm going to keep track of it and control of it. Hopefully that made sense.
This is kind of like a question that follows that up really well, I think, coming in from Kathleen. And she's asking about alcohol again, and calories in and calories out. So she's accounting for her alcohol in her food journal, but she's still not losing any weight. So is it the alcohol that's probably messing up her system? Does she need to give up alcohol? Or do you have any suggestions for healthier drink ideas?
Well, when you are trying to lose weight, I would say the most important thing is stick to one drink or 0 drinks, because the sugars in alcohol can really screw with you, and it does just kind of loosen you up in terms of your rule abiding. So often people go, well, what's one piece of pizza, or what's this or what's that? And so alcohol can kind of screw with your weight loss program. I mean, a glass of wine, like if you save up and you say during the week, all right, I'm busy during the week, I'm not gonna drink anything, but on the weekend, I'm gonna allow myself that glass of wine at the party, no problem. But when people talk about like alcoholic drinks and sugary drinks, like for instance, margarita or some of the other mixers that you add to alcohol, people not only have to account for the sugar and the alcohol, but the sugar of what they've added it to. So, when it comes to weight loss, most of the time I tell people 1 drink or no drinks when you're really trying to lose weight.
That's great advice. Okay, Angie's writing in with us live right now and says she hasn't been active for a while and kind of fell off the fitness wagon. Any suggestions on how she can get started again and how to start that workout routine again?
So the best way to get started is get started. Get started tomorrow. Start with baby steps. I'm a huge believer in baby steps because I got to tell you, over the 20 years or 25 years that I've been doing this, I see so many people go gung-ho, and I love a gung-ho attitude, but gung-ho comes to a screeching halt after 2 weeks because for a couple of reasons. A, it was just too much and they're sore and they don't enjoy it. B, it's too stressful because it's taking too much time. C, they get injured. And they get overwhelmed. And so they go from gung-ho to forget it, I'm not doing anything. So I'm such a believer in baby steps. You don't have to come out of the gates doing 10,000 steps a day. If you've been doing 500 steps a day, to go to 10,000 a day is really a lot. Maybe you go, 1,000 or 2,000 or 3,000 extra a day and add on. Or maybe you start with 3 workouts a week that you pick up that heart rate. Or maybe, I was just talking to someone about this morning, start with maybe 2 early morning workouts a week. If that's for a lot of women, early morning is a good time to exercise before the day and the family and other obligations get into the way, jobs and everything else. So maybe, but you start with 2 days a week instead of 5 or 6 days a week, because anything that you do to the extreme is super fun in the beginning, but kind of it wanes. Plus, you just don't want to get injured. And I don't know how old, is it Angie you said? It
Yes.
is, but I know myself at 51, I see a lot of 50-year-olds, if you just start coming out of the gates and you haven't exercised for a while, your joints, your muscles, things can, get injured. So start with baby steps, be really proud of your accomplishments. I'm going to go back and say, journal again. Journaling is such a good thing whenever you're starting a new habit, because I think we forget a lot about what we did on Monday or last Thursday or last Wednesday. I can't remember. What did I eat? What did I do? So if you journal it, you can really look and first of all say, congratulations to me for being consistent, or look at where I've poked all these holes and I haven't done a good job with it. So I would do that too. And the other thing is, you're never too late. You are never too old to get moving. It is never too late to do it. So just get started with something easy. And it could be as simple as, walking around the block. It could be as simple as saying, I'm going to do 25 squats and 25 push-ups. Maybe it's even push-ups into a table every day. Or I'm going to do, 5 minutes of, jumping around, whether it's skipping in place, jumping jacks, shuffling back and forth in your family room, whatever it takes, just to get you started. And of course, if you're a Get Healthy TV member, start with our beginners programs. Start with our Get Started Moving calendar, which is a great calendar. Start with our Move to Lose program. Start with our Walk and Tone program. That would all be a good place to start.
Great. Catherine's writing in, and she's asking, she needs some help with the holidays coming up for meal planning so she doesn't fall off the wagon. She's lost 17 pounds, so go Catherine, that's awesome. But she really needs some help just staying on track so she doesn't snowball, so to speak.
Well, I think a lot of us get really busy at the holidays. When all my kids are grown and they're out of the house, but everyone's coming home for Christmas. And I already feel overwhelmed with everything I have to get ready for the holiday. And I think, if you've got a job and you're working late and then you're holiday shopping and then you're decorating and then you're doing this and you're doing that and life is just so crazy, right? You got to prep in advance. So tonight, actually, before I came live, I did a whole container of sweet potatoes, a pan of sweet potatoes, broccoli, Brussels sprouts. And what I did is I put a little coconut oil in there, and then I started with the the sweet potatoes because those take a little longer than the Brussels sprouts and the broccoli. Put some spices on there. Then I added in the veggies, and I just made this whole pot of it. I ate some of it, saved some for my husband, and then I put it into a Tupperware. It's in the fridge. So now I can add that to salads tomorrow. I can cut up a chicken breast and put it in there for lunch or dinner. I can, have it for a couple of days. I always have hard-boiled eggs on hand. I always have, certain things on hand. Fresh veggies and hummus or guacamole, stuff that I can eat and munch on when I get hungry. And at this time of year, buy some of the pre-cut stuff if you're busy. Just do whatever it takes to do a little meal prep so you don't end up, grabbing a bag of chips or stopping at a fast food restaurant. I was just listening to a podcast today about the chemicals at fast food restaurants and at, a lot of restaurants that maybe are lower quality restaurants where you don't even know what's going on in the back kitchen. They can be frying it in trans fats or canola oil or who knows what. And all of those chemicals screw up with your body. I mean, I wholeheartedly believe from all the research I've done, from everybody I've listened to, and from my own experiment with myself and clients that I've worked with, that you are what you eat. When I tell people, hey, if you eat an anti-inflammatory diet, you're going to feel better. They're like, whatever, I'll just take an Advil. No, I mean, I'm serious. If you eat an anti-inflammatory diet, you look better, you feel better, you think better, your joint pain subsides. I mean, there's so many things. So just really take a hold of your holidays, do some meal prep, be really, focused on getting that stuff into the fridge or the freezer so that when you come home from work or when your holiday evenings are busy, that you just have something quick to grab.
Great. Annie's asking what kind of probiotics, aside from kombucha or yogurt, that you recommend? Like, do you have a particular brand you go to?
I don't have a particular brand because I do drink kombucha almost every day. I do eat Greek yogurt every single day. And so I eat fermented foods, and so I don't really feel like I need a probiotic. But there are so many good ones out on the market. I would really suggest going to Whole Foods and asking some questions to pick out. I need to find a brand that I absolutely love, because people ask me that all the time and I just don't take it myself. Here in Minneapolis, right in my little neighborhood, we have a nutritional store too, kind of a ma-pa store where there are dietitians there that are really well educated. They carry high quality brands, and I love to go in there and buy vitamins. I do love Life Equals. It's the word life and then the equal sign. And I believe it's life, spell out the word equals.com. They have really great quality vitamins. And I do take their vitamin D, their omegas, and I know they have a probiotic also. You can take it in powder form. You can literally just add it to your oatmeal or to your protein shake or to, some flavored water if you don't mind it, just drinking it down in water. There are probiotic pills too, but I really believe that that's a smart idea. If you are not eating fermented foods, which are so healthy for your gut, or alkaline foods, then definitely get in that probiotic.
Great. Connie's asking, and we get this question a lot, what can she do with excess loose skin after she's lost weight in her stomach area? Is there anything you can do?
Oh, it's such a hard question, because you guys know I'm not going to tell you, oh yeah, you're going to look great in another month. I mean, because sometimes loose skin is loose skin, like it's not going away. And I don't mean that at all in a Debbie Downer fashion, but sometimes it bounces back and sometimes it doesn't. So it depends on the amount of weight you've lost. It depends on your age. I mean, because there is elasticity factors in our skin properties. It depends on genetics. It depends on what you eat. And so all of those things will attribute to whether or not that skin will bounce back. A lot of times, more often than not, it will tighten up over the course of a couple months to 6 months to even a little bit longer to your liking. So you'll be like, oh, this looks a little better. Is it going to be perfect? I can't guarantee that, because it just depends on, again, all those factors I just said. But here's the thing. If you've lost a ton of weight, you need to be so freaking proud of yourself, because that is so hard. It's so much easier to gain the weight than it is to lose the weight. Secondly, your health is going to thank you. I mean, we are, like I just said, we are what we eat. So if we are overweight, malnourished, gut problems, inflammation problems, it leads to a whole host of autoimmune diseases and other problems that will make your life more miserable as you get older. So if you've lost a ton of weight, you have done yourself such a favor. And so now, I mean, I like to tell people, dress for success. There's so many amazing things that you can do. You don't have to show your stomach. As a matter of fact, I mean, now in my 50s, I don't really walk around in a swimsuit. I mean, I could, but I don't feel that comfortable to do that. So, and I mean, that's a whole nother subject. But what I'm saying is it's not like you have to walk around showing everybody your abs. There's so many cute fashions that look really great where you can, you know, wear more of a blousey outfit. There are tank tops for working out that aren't skin tight. And there's a great brand of leggings I love. They're called Lysee, Lysee, and they're up high with a little control top tummy, but they're really cute leggings, like thick fabrics and dressy. And they look great with longer tops. And so I believe in that. And the other thing I believe in, Spanx, for goodness sake. I mean, those are great too, if you like some sort of a compression wear, just to hold it in. So I know that was a long-winded answer, but I never like to tell people, oh yeah, your skin's gonna look great in a month, you know, because that's not always the truth. But the bottom line is it probably will get better. And you have to remember how far you've come and really appreciate yourself for that.
Great. Charlene's writing in. She just joined GHU TV, so that's exciting. Thanks, Charlene. She wants to lose 25 pounds. She wants a program to start with, but she wants something that's really effective. So what program on GHU TV do you think is like the most bang for your buck for a beginner?
Well, so here's the thing. Like any workout is a good workout when you're first getting started, because if you haven't used your muscles in a while, you don't want to overdo it. So we do have like Move to Lose is 10-minute segments, and those are like 10 minutes of upper body, lower body, core. Then there's a 10-minute yoga and a 10-minute cardio, and you can string them together. The calendar actually that goes along with Move to Lose strings them together for you. The Walk and Tone program is indoor walking. So indoor walking is another word for marching. So we march in place, we march side to side, we use our arms up overhead. We add knee lifts. There's some toning involved too, where we do some squats and lunges and some upper body stuff. And those are really nice to start with. I suggest you check out the Walk and Tone and the Move to Lose. Now, if those are too easy, if you're like, you know, and I know you said what's the most effective? Well, some of the really high intensity things are the most effective, but if you haven't exercised in years, I don't suggest you come out of the gates with like the high intensity interval training, because you're going to be exhausted. I don't want you to be too sore, and I don't want you to be discouraged. So start with those beginner workouts. And then if you say, well, you know what, I can handle these, move on to, here's the thing, Kate, you know, I love all the workouts on GHU TV. Like there are so many freaking good workouts. For instance, Power 20 is all 20-minute workouts, and they're circuits and intervals, and they involve weights and cardio. To me, the most effective workout you can do is weights and cardio together, just because you get more bang for your buck. So if you can do your weights and cardio in a 20-minute workout, that's super effective. Get your heart rate up, get your strength training on. That's what I would recommend. Now, we do have a program called Definitions, which is 30 minutes of strength. I'm sorry that my dog is barking. Okay, so let me ask all you ladies, I'm just going to interject this in here right now. I asked my husband to keep the dog upstairs. Does anyone else ever have that problem?
Always.
Hello, what is with the male species? I mean, honey, could you just give me an hour of time tonight and make sure the puppy stays upstairs? Sure, honey, anything you want. Guess what? He's like watching basketball or football or something up there. Sorry, Roxy, she's stuck over there. I can't let her down here. She'll go crazy. Okay, back to the question at hand. So let's see. Some other programs, like the Bodyweight Fusion is a little harder. The Rock Your Body Boot Camp, those are a little harder. They use a lot of body weight training, which in actuality can be harder than weights in many cases. The Metabolic Reboot is a really tough program. So I'm starting to kind of go through everything, right? I believe that there's so many effective programs. So the first question I want you to ask yourself is, if you are a true beginner, start with the beginners. The second is, what do you like? Do you like ballet body? Do you like bar workouts, like that kind of a workout? Or do you like a high intensity, more athletic type of a workout? Because we have a diversion of those different kinds of workouts. And then we have dance workouts, and then we have yoga workouts. And all of those are worthy of burning calories and strengthening your body. Once you get stronger, I will tell you, and I just said this earlier, but strength and cardio combined in a circuit or an interval workout where you're pushing yourself a little bit harder, those to me are the most effective. You get the most bang for your buck because the heart rate gets elevated, so you're exercising the heart, and you use the muscles at the same time. So that would be my question. I do want to interject one thing though, Kate, for everybody who's listening. So today we filmed another workout for Get Healthy UTV. I was downtown all day. We flew in Jennifer Glardy. So if any of you guys have done Jennifer's Sweating Sexy workout or ballet body workout or yoga flowetry workout, she is a long-standing friend of mine for like the last 20 years, as well as an accomplished dancer and yogi. And I gotta tell you, it's so fun to work with her. So she filmed a brand new dance workout. She's made like 20 dance DVDs for Crunch Fitness and Anchor Bay Fitness and all these different companies. And this is brand new for Get Healthy UTV. No one else will have this workout. And so they were two of them. One was called Cardio Groove. One was Shadow Dancing. And I got to tell you, both of them were so freaking much fun. I was doing them on the sidelines. Of course, I don't have that hip movement and that body movement like she does. So thank God I wasn't on camera. But they're so super fun and get stinking sweaty because you're moving the whole time. And then we did a stress relief yoga, which is going to be amazing. So we're always adding new workouts, but today was a really fun day. We filmed those workouts, and Jennifer was awesome to see her. I hadn't seen her in person in a couple years, so it was just great fun. I just had to interject that.
Well, good. And to that point, Phyllis wrote in, I don't know if you saw it, but she said, thank you so much for all you do and for the great information that you give us. And when do you sleep? And to your point of what you just said, you don't. So the next question is from Catherine, who wants to know what she can do to strengthen her low and mid back.
Okay. Strengthening your back is super important. And I was going to say what was funny today when I was with Jennifer was that her back is like a piece of elastic. Like she does these body rolls where I just can't stop watching because I'm so intrigued by it. And my back, I said to her, my back is like a piece of cardboard. It doesn't move very well. Even though I teach yoga, I'm not like a super like fluid person in my back. And a lot of that is like what we've done in our span of our lifetime. So I was never a dancer. So I never did a lot of that, flexion and extension stuff. But either way, so first of all, you want to get movement in your back, flexion, extension. I always suggest starting with cat and cow stretch, like always doing those two stretches to warm up your back, and then maybe some glute bridge rolls where you're on your back and we got your feet in the you're in a glute bridge position, and you peel your spine up off the ground and then put it back down, and peel it up and put it back down. That's a great way to warm it up. Then for strengthening, things like, I'm going to stand up out of my chair right here. On GHU TV, we do mid-back rows where you're pulling those weights and you pull back. So what you're doing is you're strengthening that mid-back. It's like starting your lawnmower or starting your snow blower, like we're going to be doing in Minnesota soon. Wide and high, like this, when you squeeze those shoulder blades behind you. So you're really squeezing those shoulder blades behind you. That's going to really help strengthen your mid-back. Getting on the ground in a prone position so that you're flat on the ground and doing what we call Pilates swimming, where you move the legs and the arms at the same time, all your back extensors fire. To strengthen your low back, you want to do Pilates exercises. And we have a 30-minute workout in Definitions that is called Core Conditioning Pilates. I can't remember, but that's the Pilates workout, the 30-minute Pilates workout.
Yeah, it's a great one.
Yeah, and we're going to be, Kate's a Pilates instructor, I'm a Pilates instructor. We're going to be adding more Pilates workouts to Get Healthy UTV, so you'll be able to see some of those coming up in the near future. And by the way, for those of you who are listening right now, I don't know how many we have online. Oh, we're getting close to 100. That's great. We are starting a new membership in January. Information will be coming out, but where you can have one level up from the regular. What the regular membership is called premium membership. We're going to be having a gold membership where there will be some extra added bonuses to the gold membership if you want to be a gold member. And one of the added bonuses will be live workouts with me and other trainers once a week. We'll be doing a live workout. And for most people, they'll probably miss it live because they'll be at work or whatever your day is like, but you will have access to those workouts in your account. So they'll accumulate. So every week you'll get a new workout put in there. Basically, they'll be a little more organic and fun because, we're just gonna be doing spur of the moment. Kate, we'll maybe get you on camera. What do you think?
Oh my gosh, you never know.
It would be great fun. But anyway, to strengthen your mid and low back, Pilates, back extensions, rowing moves are really the best.
Samantha has a great question, especially for this time of year. She's wondering what kind of sugar substitutes she can use for baking for all those holiday sweet treats everybody's making.
Well, somebody else asked that. Was it on Facebook? All right, put up a blog called Holiday Baking Substitutes for things that when you're baking, you're thinking, okay, I want to make this gluten-free, or I want to sub out of sugar, or I don't want to, use this or that. We gave like a bunch of baking substitutes. The thing about sugar in holiday baking is you have to be careful because it doesn't always taste so great. And if you're making like Christmas cookies to take to a party or desserts, you have to be careful as to what you substitute. I'm just not a huge fan of fake sugars. They don't bake properly. You have to really be aware of that. They don't bake properly. They don't have the browning properties of sugar. So sometimes they don't turn brown, or they turn chewy, or they flatten. So you have to kind of be careful with that. There are some baking products out there, and I'm not a fan of aspartame. No Sweet and Low, no Equal, and no Splenda, for me anyway. I don't like sucralose. But Truvia or Stevia, they make some baking products where it's kind of half sugar, half stevia. And those I've baked with, and those work really well. But they're labeled baking sugar in the baking aisle. They're not just the little packets that you rip open from Starbucks. They're actually like a baking product. And those can work really well. The other thing that I personally do is I use real sugar, but I just cut it in half sometimes. Literally, because most recipes call for way too much sugar. And sugar does something to the recipe. It browns it, it thickens it, it does different things to the recipe. But I'll just slice it in half, and usually it tastes just fine. So that would be my
Great tips. Good. All right. Beth wrote in, and she has 2 daughters who are vegetarians and a little picky with their food. She's wondering how to sneak an extra protein into their daily diets because she's concerned they're not getting enough.
And they're vegetarians?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I mean, vegetarians, there's lots of options. First of all, it depends on what type of vegetarian they are, because if they eat dairy, then, for instance, my daughter went from being a vegan, where you eat no animal products, no dairy, to a vegetarian, and now she eats dairy. So she'll eat eggs, she will eat yogurt, which has some good protein. She will drink almond milk, which is basically a nut, so that would work for any vegetarian. But to sneak in protein, protein powders, I always talk about whey protein and plant protein. There's 2 different ones. I use both of them. I love them both. We've been talking about Aloha protein with Get Healthy UTV because it is one of the best plant-based proteins out there if you are a vegetarian. So it's made from pea protein and pumpkin seed protein, which makes it thick and creamy. So you could throw protein powder like in pretty much anything when you're baking, when you're making oatmeal, pancakes, whatever. I like also, you can use tofu. You have to be careful. It should be organic tofu. Never have soy that's not organic. That would be my personal opinion. Nuts and seeds and beans and lentils, throw those in recipes. How about use hummus? I love to make hummus. I make homemade hummus all the time, which is pretty much olive oil, tahini, which is ground sunflower seeds, garbanzo beans. Both of those are great sources of protein, and you can dip, different things in those. But if they're eating eggs and they're eating dairy, I would suggest, getting more of that into their diet. And of course, like nut butters are great. There's so many sources of protein out there besides animal products. Being a vegetarian nowadays is pretty satisfying.
Great. All right, we have a fun question from Chris. She's asking if you'd ever consider adding a group of strength training workouts for seniors who are in good shape, but not exactly ready to do our full throttle workouts. She was wondering if you have suggestions for modifications.
That is a great question. And, that we need to really consider that, because here's the thing though, a lot of seniors, depends on what you call a senior, like how old is a senior? I mean, I have a lot of people in my class, I'm 51, I have a lot of people in my classes, Kate, you've seen them, that are in their 60s and 70s, and they're doing the workout, they're just modifying. I have a guy who comes to class, Dick, he is like the cutest thing. I swear he told me he's 85, I think 85. He is, or at least he's 80, I do know that. He comes to class diligently. He uses his 5-pound weights and he modifies everything. He doesn't do any jumping. He does the squats kind of mediocre, like our middle of the road, like half range of motion. He does everything. And he tells me, he always says, I come to class because I feed off the energy, and I love the consistent movement and direction, but he just modifies it. So one suggestion I would make is just take like some of the workouts that we do and just modify them. Get creative. I always say the word fitness is synonymous with creativity. You have to be willing to modify and be creative. But that being said, putting together something that would be lower impact and easier on the joints would be a great idea. And one thing I'd say great for seniors, Pilates. I mean, it's such a good workout for your entire body, and yoga, both of those to me. As a matter of fact, there was this viral video going around, Kate, I know you saw it, of this woman. I think she said she was like, I swear to God, 104. And you got to look this up on YouTube. So she was being interviewed, and they asked her what her secret was to longevity. Well, first of all, they asked her if her joints hurt, and she said, not yet, maybe when I get a little older. That was her first response. And then they asked her what was her secret to longevity, and she said, yoga every day and a glass of red wine. I'm like, hey, I'm in on that plan.
I can do that.
I can do that.
Yeah, I'm on that plan. Great. All right. Adrian is asking about rolling out your feet, an alternative to using a tennis ball, and what you've suggested in the past.
Rolling out your feet. Yeah, I need to do that more often too. My feet are, they get to me sometime. Okay, so, and you have a lot of bones in your feet. You have 52 bones in your feet, which is a quarter of the bones in your body. And then you have a whole bunch of joints and tendons and everything. And then you put all your body weight on them every day. So we really need to treat our feet with kindness. First of all, you can roll on one of those massage balls, and that really helps me personally. You can take a water bottle, freeze it so it's frozen and hard, and roll over the top of that. You can buy some of those prickly like massage balls or tubing, it's like a stick, and roll over those. Those feel really good. You could use a stretching strap and do some, flexion and plantar flexion and up and dorsiflexion back and forth. Do ankle rolls. But to roll out the bottom of the foot, I suggest either massaging it yourself, rolling over a ball, rolling over a frozen water bottle, or rolling over something that has some nubs or bumpies in it, and really getting into those muscles and joints and everything in there. And it's a really good idea to do because, like I said, sometimes we kind of neglect our feet and forget what an important job they play.
Great. Jennifer's got a great question. I think a lot of the ladies will appreciate this one. So she's recently hit menopause, and she's finding it really hard to lose weight. She's eating healthy most of the time and works out most days, but she feels like she's losing muscle and strength. So what workout suggestions do you have for her and the other ladies who are going through the exact same thing?
Yeah, it really, menopause, it does, you do see a decline in your muscle if you aren't actively replacing it. And you start to see that decline around 30, 35, where you start to lose about a half a pound of muscle a year if you're not actively replacing it. But once you hit menopause, it goes faster. And I don't mean that as a depressing fact, but it's just a fact. So to me, it's what you don't know can hurt you. So if you know that's the truth, then you really have to get diligent about your strength training. With hand weights, I call them hand weights, dumbbells, with a body weight trainer, like a TRX system, like resistance bands, like body weight, doing squats and lunges and push-ups and things like that. You've got to keep that muscle in place because muscle burns more calories at a resting heart rate than body fat. So if your muscle is deteriorating, then your metabolism is going down. You don't need as many calories to keep your tissue alive, if you will. So really work on strength training at the menopausal years. And then the other big thing, and I guess I say this about every age, but it's what you eat. For me personally, I just stay away from all chemicals. I just notice what it does to my body. It bloats me, it screws my gut up, and gut health is so important to your gut health. Basically writes your health history. I mean, it can be the reason why your joints hurt, why your muscles hurt, why you're sleeping poorly, why your skin looks bad, why your hair is falling out. Gut health is where it all begins. So if you eat clean and healthy, you're hopefully going to avoid being bloated, being gassy, being tired, being forgetful. I mean, all those things start in the gut. So, I know I got a little off course there, but what you eat will make a difference to your body composition, fat versus muscle, and then really, really stick with the strength training. And you can, you just have to do a little bit more. I mean, that's what you have to do because the weight gain starts to come on. Our estrogen levels are going down. Our progesterone levels are going down. Your metabolism is falling if you aren't actively replacing your muscle. So you really have to proactively make sure you're staying active into those golden years.
Great. We've got a good question from Angie. Angie's been a long distance runner for 30 years. She says she's slim, but she does have kind of like a little pouch around that belly section, but she's heard that long distance running can make you fat. What are your thoughts on that idea?
Long distance running is not going to make you fat. No way. But here's why people say that. Because a lot of time long distance runners do not do any strength training. You know, they spend all their time running. That's number one. So they're doing a lot of breaking down. And number two, it's if they're not fueling right. So let's say you're out there running 10 miles a day, but you put no fuel in your system. You go out and you run on an empty stomach. So you wake up in the morning, you are 70% depleted of your glucose stores, which is primarily what you need when you run, your glucose. And yes, you'll burn some body fat, and body fat, like converted sugars, hence the word glucose, and body fat are like jet engines. They go like this. So you have to have glucose in your system to burn the body fat. Once you run out of glucose, you can't burn body fat anymore. So you really want them going like this, and the harder you work out, the more glucose you use, but that's okay because the more calories you burn and you lose more overall fat. But let's say you're running on an empty stomach. So you've got your jet engines going, you run out of glucose. You no longer can burn fat. Science says you can no longer burn fat. So that stops burning too. The only thing you have left to burn is muscle. So you're out on that long run. You start burning up your muscle. You finish the run and you think, well, I just ran a long distance, so I'm going to eat something worthy. So you eat a little bit more, but really what you're doing is tearing apart your muscles. And so I have heard people say when they're training for marathons that they're gaining weight instead of losing weight. And so my first question always is, what are you eating before your workout? What are you eating during your workout? And what are you eating after your workout? That is the absolute indicator of why you would gain weight rather than lose weight. If you're going out for a 2-hour long distance run, anything over an hour, you have to refuel your glucose because you pretty much use up your glucose tank in an hour. And again, if you run out of glucose, you can't burn body fat, you're burning muscle. So that to me would be the only time that someone is truly gaining weight from running long distances.
Great. We have some great questions coming in. Just keep them coming, guys. We're trying to get to all of them. Catherine had a question about using a brushing technique to improve circulation versus foam rolling, and how with brushing, you're supposed to brush towards your heart, but with foam rolling, you go in both directions. So she's wondering which is better and why that is.
Well, body brushing is a technique that like you can buy a certain body brush and you can do it in the shower. And it's like brushing everything in your skin. And it's just basically creating circulation. Foam rolling is a little different. That's myofascial release. So it's like when you're getting a massage and it's a little deeper in there, and then you roll back and forth maybe 10 times just to kind of get some, well, first of all, just to seek out where those tight spots are, and also just to create some blood flow. And then you hold the foam roller where that tight spot is, and you kind of dig it into it. It's like that feeling of when you want someone to put their elbow into your hip or wherever you're tight. And then you can even kind of like cross friction fiber, we call it, over that knot. So what you're doing is basically breaking up adhesions. Whereas body brushing, in my opinion, is more of a like cosmetic technique where you take the body brush and you do it a lot. And you brush up towards the heart to create circulation, but you're also just creating blood flow and getting the skin to like rejuvenate a little bit. Of course, some of the other things that we can do for elasticity in the skin is hydrate the skin. And I feel like not only when it's winter, like right now, it's so flipping dry in Minnesota, but also just getting older, I like slather myself in coconut oil at night because I'm like, oh my gosh, my skin just soaks it in like a sponge. So you want to hydrate your skin that way also. That will help with elasticity. And then of course, eating a really clean diet, because more chemicals, more inflammation, and that's going to cause problems too. But so to me, they're a little different techniques. And because foam rolling, you aren't constantly foam rolling back and forth with a really quick pace. You're kind of slowly going over and trying to get a little deeper into that fascia.
Great. We need some tips here for Rebecca. Rebecca is wondering how she can get her LDL cholesterol down with food choices and exercise.
I've seen it done many, many times. So you've got your LDL and your HDL. So I would say, remember HDL is your happy, I call it your happy cholesterol, and the LDL is the low or the not so good cholesterol. So if your LDL is high, food choices absolutely, positively, 100% can change that for you. Now, if you are genetically predisposed to high cholesterol and you've got some issues running in your family, then you really need to monitor it. However, I have a client that had very high triglycerides, very high LDL. She was a mess. Her doctor said, I want you on Lipitor. She wasn't necessarily even, she maybe had 10 pounds to lose. So she wasn't like grossly overweight, but she was really worried about her numbers. And she had stopped eating animal fat, and she said, it's not doing any good for me. So I said, well, what else are you eating? So we went through her whole diet, and she was basically not eating healthy fats. She was absolutely eating like no fat, period. Healthy fats are so important for a healthy cholesterol. And we just got ingrained, for those of you who are my age, we got in the 80s, it got ingrained into our head, do not eat fat, do not eat fat. And people are still afraid to eat fat, but healthy fat, science is improved. And everybody knows like eating healthy fats can help you lose weight. The more fat you have, potentially, the more fat you eat in your diet, potentially the more fat you'll lose. So you've got to eat those healthy fats. And healthy fats meaning monounsaturated fatty acids, so like MUFAs, they call them. Things like dark chocolate. Hello, yep, I just said dark chocolate. 70% cacao or more. Olives, olive oil, plant-based oils, avocados, nuts and seeds. Those are all MUFAs and all really good fats for your heart. Even some animal fats and fatty fishes and so forth have the good omega-3s and the good, and they do have, like animal fat has the wrong kind of cholesterol. You know, it has the kind of fat that solidifies, but still there isn't a lot of proof out there that the animal fat is the problem. Coconut oil is a very healthy, and that's a saturated fat, but a very, very been proven time and time again to be a very healthy fat. So what you want to do is you want to make sure you're eating a lot of healthy fats. You want to avoid all chemicals. So that client I was talking about, she was eating processed chips and fat-free this and that, snacks that were fat-free, got her off all of the processed food. And she also was afraid to eat nuts. She thought nuts make you fat. They're too high in calories. And she was at first really afraid to change her eating habits. But we got her drinking more water. We got her eating all of the MUFAs, the healthy fats. We got her eating more fruits and vegetables, tons of fruits and vegetables. Fruits and vegetables are, again, like they're like miracle drugs, if you ask me. And through eating that healthy, clean diet, alkaline diet, healthy fats, she brought her triglycerides and her LDL down. Her doctor couldn't even believe it. Within, I can't honestly remember if it was 3 months or a little bit longer, but she went back for her checkup and her doctor said, I am in shock right now that you have changed your numbers so drastically through food. So don't give up on yourself. Believe that you can do it through food first. That's what I would say.
Okay, we've got another one from Rebecca. I don't know if it's the same Rebecca or not. Wondering about tennis elbow. Any suggestions or exercises for tennis elbow to help that?
Yeah, I will definitely cover that. Kate, I just wanted to say, I just saw someone ask, I can't see all the questions, but I saw someone ask if the coconut oil that I use in my body is the same I cook with. And I just wanted to say yes, but I have 2 different jars. I don't walk in the kitchen and start slathering myself with coconut oil. I have a jar of coconut oil in my bathroom and a jar of coconut oil in my kitchen, and I keep them quite separate. Anyway, that kind of cracks me up. Okay, back to tennis elbow. So it's basically tendinitis. They call it tennis elbow because that's where it kind of started or got its name, but a lot of people get tendinitis in their elbow from lifting heavy boxes or doing a repetitive motion over and over, shoveling, or you know, yes, tennis, yes, golf, some of those things, carrying a baby on your hip and constantly using that elbow. So some of the things that you can do, first of all, I hate to tell you, but rest is part of the way to cure tendinitis. Those are inflamed tendons. Eating healthy anti-inflammatory foods, using a topical anti-inflammatory. I've been using one that I cannot remember the name of because that's my menopausal brain. It's up in my bathroom. I would have to look it up if you guys are. It's just one of those topical rubs. I also use marjoram. It's an essential oil, and lemongrass. Both of those essential oils are good for tendons, connective tissue, soft tissue, and muscles. So you smell like a major lemongrass when you walk around, but you know, I get used to it. It's very, very lemony, but lemongrass and marjoram essential oils. I use those 2. And then you could use a compression sleeve. And compression sleeves are meant to give you extra support. They're not a brace. So they're just supposed to keep the muscle warm and give you a little extra support to help it heal, but they're definitely not a brace. However, a lot of people notice some good relief with compression sleeves for the elbows and the knees.
Great. All right. Lisa is writing in, and she's recently started GHU TV, and she's doing the December Walk and Tone Challenge, and she says it's awesome. So awesome, Lisa. Good for you. She's wondering, though, going forward, she has 30 minutes to work out. What's more important, cardio or strength training?
Well, it's how you divide it up during the week. So they're both important. But here's the recommendations from the CDC. They say you need 150 minutes of heart pumping cardio a week. 150 minutes, that's 2.5 hours. You can divide it any way you want. Okay, so you can do 10 minutes one day, 30 minutes the next day, an hour on the weekend, whatever. You also should do at least 2 strength training sessions a week. And the CDC leaves that very loose. So a lot of the GHU TV workouts, like the walk and tone that she's doing, a couple of the walk and tones, there's 2 walk and tones that aren't just walking, but involve the weights. So you walk, you get your heart rate up, and then you tone all in one workout. Those are my favorite workouts because your heart rate stays elevated. Therefore, it counts as cardio, but it also counts as strength. So you're getting kind of a twofer, as I call it, with those kinds of workouts. Now, if you take the cardio intensity up even higher, so it's more of like a higher intensity, you can cut that 150 minutes into 75 minutes. So the CDC says cut it in half. So if you're really pushing yourself, then you only need 75 minutes of cardio for heart health. Now, if you're trying to lose weight, you're going to try to do a few more workouts than that. But that is my recommendation. So one is not more important than the other. I hear people say sometimes, oh, cardio is stupid. All you need is strength. And that just, that gets the hair on the back of my neck standing up, because do you have a heart? Because if you do, you're supposed to take care of your heart through cardiovascular activity. I don't care if you're thin or overweight. Cardio is good for you. But we don't ever want to forget that strength training is the key to metabolism. Strength training is the key to healthy joints. Strength training is the key to feeling confident and keeping your posture standing strong and your ab muscles strong and all that kind of stuff. So they're both important. I would take that 30 minutes in the morning and I would, do the walk and tones. I would do some of the other ones that combine strength and cardio. But if you're having one of those days where you're like, you know what? Today I feel like a 30-minute dance workout. I just feel like dancing and feeling good about myself. Go for it. There really are no rigid rules when it comes to fitness. If I could tell America, hey, move your body however you want, I got to tell you, that might help fix some of the problems. We think that we're making the needle move, but we're not in our country. We're eating too much, we're eating too much junk, and we're not doing worthy enough exercise. So I don't get so hung up on, did you do 15 bicep curls? I get hung up on, are you having fun and are you moving consistently? That is what matters.
Great. All right. So we've got Tina writing in. She's so cute. She says, Roxy's super cute, and I have 2 dogs who always bark on my conference calls. So she just wanted you to know that. But she has a question too. So she does eat really well and she's working out, but she loves to splurge on a nice glass of wine or a dark beer. Do you have a number of drinks you allow yourself in a week?
Well, I, during the week, I am too busy to have any alcohol. I'm just too busy. My life is, I'm busy with work, and then I get home and I have things to do and I'm tired. I go to bed and then I get up early to work out. And so I really don't drink during the week, but on the weekends, sometimes a Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday night, I do allow myself 1 or 2 glasses of wine per night. Now, some of you might, don't judge me. Some of you might judge me and go, oh, Chris, you're having 4 glasses of wine a week. Well, you know what? I work out, I eat healthy. And like that 104-year-old woman, she said she has a glass of wine a day. So I think it's just I call that moderate. I mean, for me, it's moderate. Everyone has their own opinion. And I'm not a beer drinker, so I just don't like the taste of beer. But I think, 1 glass is not going to kill you. It's when, you do 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in a row. God forbid you do 6 in a row. Please get a ride home. I'm just kidding. But I think I don't have a problem with it. It depends on what your goals are. Like, if you're seriously trying to lose a ton of weight, then I would lean off the alcohol sugars for sure. But if you're just maintaining and you just want to kind of relax a little bit, having 1 drink, throughout the week. Like for me, I guess I end up with like 3 or 4 glasses of wine a week.
Great. All right. Sherry's got a really interesting question. Her forearms are hurting when she's doing heavier bicep curls, anything over 20 pounds or more. When she alternates with a hammer curl, it's a little bit less painful, but she's wondering, does she have to strengthen a specific part of her arm? Is that why it's hurting? Or is she gripping too hard?
It's the forearm, probably. I don't think you're gripping too hard, but the muscles in your forearm take a toll. With bicep curls, you know, you're using a lot of forearm muscle here. So if they're getting to be, if it's getting to be sore, you might have just, you know, overdone it a little bit. And so you could, you know, go to the hammer curl for a while, because when you turn the hand this way, it's less stress than this way to the forearm. So that might be one thing. You could put a compression sleeve on there and see if just by warming up those muscles throughout the day, that helps. You could try what I was saying about the essential oils, lemongrass and marjoram, which are great for, you know, any kind of like soft tissue type of inflammation. And then anti-inflammatory. And you know what, I haven't even mentioned the best anti-inflammatory. One of the best anti-inflammatories is turmeric. So turmeric is a herb. We looked it up the other day in the dictionary, because in the office we were like, is it turmeric? Is it turmeric? Or is it turmeric? And we looked it up, and according to Wikipedia and the dictionary, it's turmeric. I've always said turmeric, but anyway, that particular spice is mega anti-inflammatory. So put some of that in your diet. If you don't like to cook with it, I love to cook with it. But if you don't like to cook with it, you can buy turmeric pills and literally ingest it through a pill. But it's a natural anti-inflammatory instead of like an Advil. That might help too.
Great. Sherry's wondering if you've got more kickboxing workouts coming to GHU TV on the horizon. She loves them.
Oh, well, I love kickboxing. I actually taught kickboxing this morning. So we have one on GHU TV, and yes, we need to add more. So in the gold membership, if you are going to upgrade to the gold membership in January, you guys will have to decide and see what you think. You don't have to. You can stay exactly where you are. But I will definitely be doing kickboxing workouts in those live workouts for sure. We'll do at least, you know, maybe even one a month or one every other month. So those will then add up in your repertoire. Also, the dance workout that Jennifer Glardy did today, one of them, the shadow dancing, she combined groove along with boxing. So it had a little bit of a like a Zumba flair, that each song was its own dance. But while she was shaking her hips, she was adding in jabs and uppercuts. It was really fun. And I could really follow along with that one, because it's kind of, you know, my style. But of course, all the hip shaking was a little harder for me, but I loved it. It was really fun. So yeah, we will add them.
Great. Connie's asking, and I've never heard of this, what do you think about the stomach vacuum exercise?
I have no idea what that is. Stomach vacuum exercise?
Yeah.
I really hope it's not a vacuum that you put on your stomach. I don't know. Kate, you and I are both Pilates instructors. I've never heard of it.
I haven't either. Never.
Connie, write a little bit more. Tell us what it is.
Tell us more about that one, Connie. We're lost here. All right. So we've got some really good ones coming up. Gail, her arms are really flappy. What can she do? Is there any hope? Yes, there is, Gail. That's the answer.
Right. Yeah, so flabby arms, muscle tone is going to make the difference. You know, bicep, tricep, you want to get the back of the arm right here with your triceps, your biceps. You can do your tricep this way, where you kick it back and really squeeze that muscle. You can do push-ups. That's really going to help with tricep and bicep. And as we get older, skin gets looser. I mean, my skin has absolutely gotten looser. I certainly never want people to think like I'm accepting mediocrity, I guess, if you want to call it, but what I'm accepting is reality. Like, I want people to realize that you can look great, you don't have to be perfect. And I think most of us, as we get older, we want to live our life like we want to love our life. We've got full jobs and full families and friends and people that we want to spend time with, and we want to do fitness because we enjoy it. Maybe it stress relieves us, it keeps our weight in check, and we feel good, but we don't want it to be overbearing that it rules our life and we can't do anything else. And so get those biceps, get those tricep exercises going. You can tone up those arms, no question at all. And then I sound like a broken record, but for those of you who are like in your 40s, 50s, 60s, it's hydration, healthy eating, gut health, and we have an amazing article about gut health at gethealthyu.com. So eat properly for your gut health, get rid of chemicals in your diet, and exercise. Do some cardio, do some strength, do some flexibility, and your health history, your health story, your health journey is going to be a good one.
Great. Along those lines, we've got a question here from Tracy. She's 58 years old. She says she's working out and eating well 85% of the time. She has a full-time job, so she's doing the best she can. But what can she do to lose that last 10 pounds?
Those are the hardest 10 pounds. You know, the thing is that, you know, the first weight, like if you've got a lot of weight to lose, those first 10, 20, 30, 40 pounds come off a little easier. And those last 10 pounds are like those tweakers. It's like, that's tough. So first thing I always tell people is change. You know, they always say the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results. So, you know, change up your routine. Your body gets used to stuff. So change your workout schedule, change your workout routine. Like if you're only doing, you know, people get stuck in their ways, right? Like on Mondays, I do these butt exercises and I walk on the treadmill. On Tuesday, I do this. Well, change it up, surprise yourself, try some different Get Healthy UTV workouts, do something different strength-wise, do something different cardio-wise, and then really reflect. She says she eats clean 85% of the time, which is amazing, but a little more maybe hydration, really check that diet, and then maybe you just need to take up your exercise in intensity a notch. Because a lot of times what people discover is if they just work just a little harder, they burn more calories, they train their heart, but they see bigger results.
Absolutely. All right. What's the next one? Mary Beth asking about the worst, back fat. What can she do to get rid of it?
Oh, I sound like a broken record. You guys, I plead with you, go to gethealthyu.com. That's the free website with all of the articles and recipes and information. And then those of you Get Healthy U TV members, that's where you log in to do all the workouts. But we have a great article on back fat. It's trending #1. It was #1, #2 for a while on Google. And it's all about how to rid of back fat. Like some of the things you can do, which again, broken record, here I come. Eat clean, check your gut health. Get a ton of water in, sleep well, but then back exercises. So if you were listening a little earlier, we did rowing exercises. We did wide and high back exercises. We talked about back extensions on your stomach. We talked about swimming with your arms. Even planking, like side planking, where you open up and really strengthen those back muscles, and a lot of Pilates exercises focus completely on the back, which it's so important that we keep our back strong because ladies, I don't know how you feel, but as we get older, what happens to a lot of people is this. They just slump. Like we just do, I call it the 2-inch slump, where you just kind of go right there. And if we can strengthen those mid-back muscles to really lift up, pull those shoulders up, back, and down and stand tall, you look better, you feel better, you're more confident. So, so basically by eating healthier and doing those exercises, hopefully you're going to start to see some of the back fat disappear.
Great. Okay, we've got a great question for this time of year about getting in that vitamin B. If she doesn't eat a lot of animal products, what's the best supplement and how much vitamin B do you need?
Well, vitamin B is a water-soluble vitamin. So it's like vitamin C. You're not going to hurt yourself. Knock yourself out. Eat as many vitamin Bs, like tablets or capsules as you want, and your body will pee out what you don't need. So you don't want to waste your money, but they are really good energy. I'll take B vitamins on a day where I'm kind of low, like I'll take multi-B vitamin just to up my energy. It's a really good energy. As a matter of fact, that 5-hour energy that everyone loves, and I'm not a fan of because there's a bunch of other weird stuff in it, but it's niacin. It's a B vitamin. It's just a big old rush of niacin, which gives you energy. So if you're not eating animal products, I mean, there are a lot of vegetables that have B vitamins. There are a lot of other like nuts and different things that have B vitamins in them. And then just take a multi-B vitamin supplement. There are some really good brands out there. Like I said, check it out at like a Whole Foods or a health food store. I like Life Equals. They have some, they're one of, I just happen to order a lot from them. I like their product. And so you can just, you don't have to worry about overdoing it with B vitamins. It's just like vitamin C. Just take your B vitamins, and then what your body doesn't use, it'll pee out.
Okay. Last question from Phyllis. How do you like the TomTom Touch so far? I use the Polar FT7 and she likes it a lot. Is the TomTom better in your opinion?
Gosh, I like the Polar FT7 a lot. I like a Polar watch because I'm going to tell you, first of all, I've really enjoyed the TomTom. I have my Apple Watch on right now, but I just wrote a blog about the TomTom and what I found out with the TomTom. And one of the things I really like about the TomTom is TomTom is a well-known company for GPS systems, right? So they've really perfected a lot of those technologies. They're a good tech company. And the product really, I like the way the app interfaced. I liked it better than some of the other cheaper fitness trackers out there. I wear my Apple Watch, and I'll tell you why. I wear it because I like getting my emails. I like getting my text messages on it. I like seeing the weather. I like seeing my calendar. But do I like the Apple Watch for exercise? It's okay. It's not perfect. I'll tell you why, because both the TomTom and the Apple Watch do not have a chest strap. So the way you're taking your heart rate is right here. Underneath here, there's some probes, and it's getting it off your wrist. Whereas wearing a chest strap, where you put that chest strap right here underneath your clothes, and then it wirelessly connects to your watch, that's going to be way more accurate. So I love my Polar products. I'll be honest, so I haven't been wearing them as much. I have an FT60, but I don't wear it because I've kind of become obsessed with my Apple Watch. So I need to get back into my FT60. And I love my heart rate strap for spinning class. I love it. So I'm a big fan of Polar products. Now, the thing about the TomTom that I really like is it's like super simple to use. You just push your finger or you swipe up to kind of scroll through. It just looks like a bracelet. It's pretty it doesn't look like any big, huge tracker. It stays on your wrist really well. A lot of them have crappy clasps and they constantly fall off. I like how it has an interesting heart rate zone chart on it for an activity tracker without a chest strap. It does a pretty good job of getting your heart rate zones. I think even maybe better than my Apple Watch. But again, you can't beat the accuracy of a chest strap. So that's what I'd have to say. And you can measure your body composition on the TomTom, but again, it's accurate, but maybe not as accurate as like dunking yourself in water. But then let's talk about that. That's a whole nother subject. Who's going to take the time to do that? Hydrostatic weighing. So that was a very long-winded answer. I might stick with your Polar because it's a really decent product. But if you just want an activity tracker to say, hey, I'm checking my calories burned and my steps, I liked the TomTom.
Awesome. I think that's the last one.
I think that's it. Okay. Oh my gosh. How did we get a whole hour by, Kate? Thank you so much for being so good with the questions. Now, everybody, really quickly, I know we promised we'd be gone in an hour, but Get Healthy UTV, I'm assuming most of you are Get Healthy UTV members. So we have lots of fun stuff coming up. I hope you're renewing your membership. We have new workouts coming. I think tomorrow, maybe, the Going Strong workout is coming up with Amy Dixon. Brand new strength and cardio mixed. It's an hour-long workout. It's a kick butt workout. We have a new dance workout we filmed today with Jennifer Gallardi. We have a pregnancy workout coming up, which it doesn't matter if your baby is 18 weeks or 18 years. It's going to be a great workout from Lindsay, who is pregnant and going to have her baby in about 3 months. She is so darling. So wait till you see that. We're starting these live workouts, which are going to be so fun. More information to come. So I'm so glad you're a part of our community. The other thing I want to mention is if you are not a part of our Facebook group, you need to be. We have the most, Kate, is it not the most engaged group?
So fun. Everybody's so supportive and motivating.
And we follow a calendar. So we're following 2 calendars for December right now. We always pick 2 calendars and everyone kind of mixes and matches the workouts and decides which workouts they want to do, and we cheer each other on. And so just look on Facebook for the Get Healthy UTV member Facebook group. Ask to be a member. We check everybody. We make sure that you are actually a Get Healthy UTV member before we put you in the group. So you can feel safe that it's just your peers from Get Healthy UTV. If you are not a Get Healthy UTV member, you may join for $10 for the year. That's 83 cents a month. What? Right? Did you hear me right? Yes, you did. You can't buy a DVD for $10. So the code for this time of year to get a $10 membership is HOLIDAY10. The word holiday, the number 10, 10. Somebody asked me the other day, well, Chris, can I just renew my annual with a new code and just stay at $10? The answer is no. So here's what I hope. We're giving you a screaming deal for $10 for the year. Screaming. And so my hope is that by trying it for a year, you find enough value to pay the value of $59 for the year, which is still under $5 a month. So my hope is that you found it worthy enough to pay that, because the reality is, like, if you could see our production today, it is not cheap to do all this stuff. So I hope you're enjoying it, I guess is what I'm saying. And join our Facebook group too. Come and, have fun with us. So I guess that's enough. Everyone wants to go have a fabulous holiday. Kate, the lovely Kate Lang, thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you.
All right. And everybody else who joined us, thanks for your time tonight. Have a fabulous, healthy, happy holiday season with your family. Get ready for January. It is going to be a great month. Stay healthy this month. Don't give up on those workouts. I don't care if they're 10 minutes or they're 20 minutes. They matter. All right. Good night, everybody. Good night, Kate.
Night.